All right, guys, we're back. We're back all the way live. They kicked us off. Like they totally kicked us off of Facebook. So if you were with us earlier, join us again. Tag those high schoolers and the parents. Just tag one more time. Do me a favor. Tag again. They totally kicked us off of Facebook because we played music that I initially said I didn't own the rights to. So they booted us off, and we were having a great conversation up to well, we started talking right after the music, but you all heard none of that conversation because Facebook kicked us off. I don't get that. I don't quite understand that. Not when you can play violence and show people getting shot and killed and show people cussing and dancing and twerking and shaking their behind and doing anything that's ungodly. And that never gets taken off. And we're having a decent conversation with a group of high schoolers, and you take that off. There is something wrong with the system, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that again. How in the world can you keep up and continue to let play people fighting, people cussing, people twerking, people dancing, people getting killed, playing music with cussing in it? And I mean, they can do whatever they want to in the negative. And as soon as we do something positive, uh, that gets kicked off. Something's wrong with the system, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to need to create our own platforms or something if it's going to have to be like that, because we're doing nothing negative. Again, we were attempting to do something very, very positive with high school kids, trying to reach and touch them positively, and you kick us off because we put the disclaimer: we don't own the rights to that music, but using it to highlight the point of what we were talking about, parents just don't understand, and you kick us off. Something's wrong with that. So I'm sure you're probably watching this too, whoever the Facebook people are. We're going to probably need to have a conversation about what's right to show and if it's okay to show it, and do I need to cuss in order for it to keep going? Or do I need to show women twerking or showing their breasts in order for it to keep going? I mean, what do I need to make sure that we don't get kicked out of a live broadcast that's being helpful, so that you won't censor us with a music video, but you don't censor people who cuss? And okay, never mind. Let me leave it alone. Let me leave it. That's not the topic for the day. Although I think we're gonna have to come for that topic. That is, if you all allow us to play that live. So we'll see. All right. So let me bring my panel back. We are back in full effect. Okay, I think we're back full effect. I hope they don't clip me off again because I went off. But it just is what it is. I don't mind when people bother me. Don't bother my children. And clicking this thing off was clicking them off. And you come for them, you're gonna have some problems out of me. I don't mind what you do to me. Don't do nothing to them. That's a whole nother story. So let me try to get myself together because I'm a little warm right about now. Just a little warm. All right. So let's reset. We were talking about clothing and parents not understanding the clothing side and the clothing piece of for the young people. And right after the video, I asked you guys, have you ever experienced a time where your parents picked your clothes and you just didn't like it? So I don't know if you remember what you said then, but just hop in and start right there.
But my parents never really got me anything. Like if I asked for something, they never really bought me anything like totally different, like what they wanted. They like if I wanted some shoes, they would buy me those type of shoes, but like in a different color than what I wanted. I mean, I was still grateful, but I kind of wanted that color. But I'm still grateful that you even bought me the shoes. But they never really got me like something like totally different.
Hmm.
Now my mom, she said I can call her my mom now. My mom, like, I kind of take after my mom. So she has to like, okay. So I'll go on like websites and I'll see these clothes and she'll be like, what size they got? And I'll just be like, they got plus sizes. And she's like, so what kind of plus size they got? So I just be like, 12, 14, 16. She says, I ain't can't wear no 12, 14, 16. That kind of hurt my little feelings, but I just be like, okay, I understand. So it's kind of, I'm still kind of learning. So.
Destiny?
Kind of the same with when I was younger. They never really like bought something that I didn't like or that the opposite of what I asked for. It was kind of like if we didn't agree, then she just wouldn't give it at all. And then now I don't really like, I do a lot of online shopping, like Zion said, and I don't really like tell her what I'm buying. I kind of just order it. And if like if I wear it one day, she's like, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" I'm like, "Oh, I just bought it." And then she'll say if she likes it or not. But it's not, she doesn't say too much now, probably mainly because I don't tell her before I order it. But it's not as it's not as much of an issue now than it was back then.
Okay, so one of the other things that we were discussing right before they clipped us off, I'm probably gonna keep saying that during this whole meeting. I mean, just clipped us off. Like, who does that? But anyway, right before they clipped us off, I was asking you, have you ever had that experience where you put on something and went downstairs or went into the other room or whatever, and your parents saw it and they just totally flipped out or freaked out?
I think back when I was living here once again, one of the main, I guess, items of clothing was just she didn't like leggings like at all. And if I wore leggings, I had to be wearing like the longest shirt in the world or whatever. But it's not, we don't really, it's not an issue anymore. But I know like in freshman year and sophomore year, and not even at all in middle school. I didn't even try it in middle school. But like especially freshman and sophomore year when everyone else is doing it, and I would come downstairs and she'd be like, "Nope, go change or go put on a bigger shirt or something like that."
So now, what's leggings?
Leggings?
Oh, leggings. You said leggings.
Yeah.
That's those real tight things.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Steve.
I think the item of clothing like that kind of caused controversy between me and my mom is like dresses. Like if I wanted a dress, it can't be like A-line. It can't be like a bodycon dress or nothing like that. Like it has to like kind of fit a little loose and stuff like that. So it's just like whenever she would show me dresses, I would be like, why is it so big? And she's like, why is it so big? So it's just like I never really wear dresses like that. I always wear jeans or something like, or skirts or something like that. And even my dad, he's like, so why you don't wear no dresses no more? And he's just like, I don't even want to wear a dress no more. So I just stick to my jeans, my leggings, my skirts.
So why does it have to fit?
But why does it have to be big? Like it's just ew. I don't It's just ew. Like, why is it so big? For what? For why? I just don't know. Like, it doesn't have to fit tight and it doesn't have to be big. Like, it could just be like a perfect size. Like, not too big, not too tight. Just like it's breathable, but yet it's not as big.
So Bishop O said leggings are no public everyday attire. They are workout clothes, but she digresses. Do you all concur? Do you agree?
Leggings are comfortable though. It's like with sweatpants. Like you wouldn't normally wear sweatpants outside, but they're comfortable. Like when you just want to be comfortable that day, you just slip them on and you're out the house. But nobody says anything about sweatpants because they're baggy. So
Exactly.
So Superstar says that we don't want anything baggy. But again, I'm trying to help me understand why not baggy. There was an era when baggy was actually in. Everything baggy was what we wore. We had the baggy pants when I was coming through high school. So I mean, why does it have to be? Well, you said comfortable. Okay, I get it. But baggy can be comfortable too, because sweatpants are comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. But like, like I wear sweatpants, I wear baggy clothes a lot too. It's just when I wear like leggings, then it becomes an issue. You know, like it's not like I'm saying, oh, I don't like to wear baggy clothes at all, because those are comfortable too. It's just that sometimes I want to wear leggings, and that's when it becomes an issue.
I kind of agree because like I mean I do have baggy jeans, like you know the little paper bag thing that's the the little waist. So yeah, baggy isn't always bad. It's just like sometimes you just don't want to be baggy. Sometimes you just wanna you just don't want to be baggy some days. It's just like, but I mean, I do like baggy shirts. Like I do like big shirts to just walk around in, or like I can say that I'll just wear a baggy shirt out with with some leggings, maybe, or some little shorts. So I do like baggy shirts because
So if you could campaign for the leggings uh, and be a voice for the young people, what would you say?
Okay, like what do you mean by campaign for the leggings? Like
So
how?
obviously, we got some parents on here, and I am a parent as well, and we think that leggings. Okay, you're working out, put your leggings on. You're in the house, put your leggings on. You go out the house if you're going to have on the leggings. As you said, Destiny, that shirt probably needs to be at your ankles. Uh, the shirt probably needs to be somewhere near your ankles. You might get by with the shirt being at your knee, but if that shirt is just torso length, hmm, you're probably not getting out that house with that. So help convince us as to why it's all right to just go right on out with those, even though they're comfortable. Help us understand the need for it, other than comfortable, because you said baggy was comfortable. So comfort is not the only thing, since there's something else that you could be comfortable in. So what's another argument?
sometimes you just don't want to look real dressed up. Sometimes you just want to go out. I mean, sometimes you can just kind of get lazy a little bit. It's just like I don't want to put on jeans or nothing like that. I just want to slip on my leggings and my little shirt and I can just get out the house. But I mean, campaigning, like, it doesn't have to be all the way to your ankles. It can just cover your butt and you'll just be fine like that. I think I think it's fine like that. Just covering your butt. That's that's just how I see it. But sometimes you just lazy and you just don't feel like really picking out clothes. You just put on your leggings, your shirt, your Crocs, or your sneakers, and just get out the house.
I agree with Zion. And then also with like skinny jeans, when those first started becoming a trend, my mom didn't like them at first either. And I know with maybe with other parents, they didn't like them. And that was like a while ago. But and now it's like normal, like skinny jeans are normal. So I guess with leggings, it's just starting out, like it's just becoming kind of like a trend. So of course there's going to be like some conflict, but eventually, they're just going to forget about it and we're fine.
Oh, here's a so hey Bishop, I believe it's a motive. I believe our generation want our parents to trust us in our decisions, but our generation can't run away from accountability as well. Absolutely, absolutely. So, and I think that's kind of what it is. I don't necessarily mind the leggings as long as the shirt covers um, stuff. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, because everybody out there, as they're walking around, we're innocent. We're not really paying much attention. I mean, because you're just our babies, but everybody ain't looking at you all like our babies. And I'm crazy, like really crazy. And so if I sense in the Holy Ghost that you're sizing up my babies, I'm not going to be happy. And so instead of me going to jail for whatever reason, it's probably best just not to wear it because those kind of people are out there. Now, if you have the shirt long enough to wear, again, I mean, you all are black women, okay? So then there's that. There are curves that you all have. I don't even know how I said that just now because I don't even want to think about curbs with y'all. Y'all need no curbs. I pray that y'all don't have curbs until you're 50. Then you can curve up all you want. but until then. Yeah, so that those shirts kind of help cover those areas so that no one else utilizes you as something that we don't want them to up to that point. Okay, so we'll get off the clothing for a minute. Outside of one of the other pieces, and I heard Destiny say it, which is probably why Zion keeps saying this thing as well. So Destiny says, I got my money, right? So you use your money to get your clothes. And so having a job kind of gives you a little bit of liberation.
Yeah, because normally, like my parents, like whenever I don't have a job, they'll be like, if I ask for something and say, "Well, you ain't got no money" or something like that, and so then when I have a job, it's like you can't really say that anymore. So it's a little bit more freedom.
So Zion, why is it that you want a job?
So I can have my own money.
Okay. So okay. All right. So, kind of in my house, it's a little different. I feel like everything that comes in this house belongs to me anyway. So like if you make the money, that money mine. I'm kind of allowing you to use the money that we'll talk off camera. We'll talk off because your face look wrong. So we'll talk off camera. So last week we started talking about having arguments with your parents. We started talking about having arguments with your parents and how you all kind of feel when those arguments happen. I don't know if you remember everything that you said last week, but I want you to kind of recap your thoughts when it came to the verbal exchange back and forth and when it's happening and going on. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And your response to some of those arguing moments.
So, I think we were saying like just feeling frustrated and like the parents aren't understanding us, but then in a way it's also we're not understanding it from their point of view either. And then they're just trying to like protect us and everything, but it's kind of hard when they're only like listening or they're not listening to your side of the story. And so we're all just trying to just come to a common place, but it's just really hard when we're having two different experiences, I guess, with the age gap between us.
Mm.
What we kind of talked about last week was like yelling doesn't get your point. Okay, I'm sorry. Yelling doesn't get your point across. Like if you're yelling at your kid, then your kid isn't listening. And if your kid is yelling at you, you definitely ain't listening. You just gonna give them their timeout, like you said last week. So it's like yelling doesn't really solve anything. It's just you have to have like that conversation. Like, can we talk about this without having a yelling match? Because I want to get my point across, and you want to get your point across. So let's have our A, B, and C. You have your A, B, and C. Let's come to
I had to put that one up. Oh, get snatched. That is way too funny. So here it is. And I think we asked the question last week, but there may be somebody watching this week who didn't hear your answer. Why do you feel like the parents raised their voice?
Well, I kind of feel like they raise their voice because, like, it's just like I'm trying to protect you. You're not listening to me and my reasoning, so I have to raise my voice for you to get it. but it's kind of like I'm not listening to you because you're yelling, and I don't really like you yelling it. Well, I mean, I can't really say I don't like what you do or what you like to do. So it's just like I, how I want to say it. I don't particularly care for you yelling. So it's just like I want you just to talk to me instead of yelling, because it's like you yelling is going to end one ear and out the other. So it's just like I would rather you just talk to me instead of yelling, because that's just nothing is getting done. Nobody's learning anything. It's just, but I do kind of understand because they're trying to protect, and we're trying to get our point across. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of my point of view, but I don't know.
Now listen, you all are too funny. Y'all trying to be all ginger. Now last week y'all wasn't ginger at all. Y'all just went for it. This week y'all trying to. Did y'all get talked to already? Was there a conversation that happened after the show that I'm not aware of? Because y'all walking on eggshells right now. No, give it to us. So why do you think parents are yelling? Why do you think parents yell, Destiny?
I was gonna say something similar to Zion, with like they don't think we're listening, but I think we are listening. I just think that because we're not agreeing with them, then they're just gonna keep pushing their point until we do agree. So it's just kind of like the conversation is kind of pointless, if they're just going to like if it has to be their way at the end, regardless of what's happening in the conversation. So I think they're yelling just to because we're not agreeing with them, then they're just going to keep on pushing and keep getting louder until we do agree.
So you feel like the argument is pretty much to have you all concede. Oh, so when you feel like it's going the way of you just having to concede, what thoughts are going? I think I heard Destiny say it just now, but just to reiterate the point, what thoughts are going through your head when you are attempting or having to concede? Obviously.
I think at first it's kind of like, okay, maybe, I can get her or him to agree with me. But then as the conversation goes on and maybe they start yelling and getting louder, then it's just like I kind of give up and I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's whatever. And then the conversation's over. Or no, say it's okay, then that kind of stirs up some feelings as well. And so I'll just, say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, and then it's over.
So you going to say something? Okay. So how about after the argument, right? After that, and then there is the after argument about the attitude. Okay, so the argument is over, but then there's a second argument that can probably pick up because of the attitude. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about that.
I cannot lie. I'm still kind of working. I can say that I'm still kind of working on like receiving a no or something like that. So it's just like, if we're having like a real, kind of bad argument, I'll kind of like go in my room and, just bury myself and not really talk no more, or like engage in conversations, because it's just like, y'all was just yelling at me and now y'all want to talk to me. So it's just like, I don't even want to talk to you no more. So it's just like, so I just kind of bury myself. I'm still kind of working on like saying, okay, I felt like this because you did, you kind of yelled at me during this point while I was trying to tell you this. So it's like, I'm still kind of working on it with the attitude piece. So, yeah.
Do you feel like it's an attitude at all?
Not, I don't know, because like an attitude is kind of like you kind of going back and forth and all that, like you sucking your teeth and stuff. But like with me, I just don't say nothing at all. So it's just like, I wouldn't really call it an attitude. It's just like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what to call it. It's just me just not really engaging in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Des?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of the same way. I don't really like talk or whatever, or I guess I talk, but like I stay quiet towards the end because I know if I say something, then she's gonna call it an attitude. But I feel like kind of growing up, it was always Isaiah, like with the arguments, Isaiah talks too much and then I have the attitude. And so I just learned to not say anything. But like when I'm growing up, you have that reputation of always having an attitude. It doesn't matter if I say anything or not. She's gonna say it's like my facial expressions or whatever. But I don't think it's an attitude. It's just kind of frustrating, like because you're not listening to me. And so, I mean, if we're really thinking about it, both sides kind of have an attitude because we're both kind of like
Now
you're
this is coming
yelling.
from the defense
Exactly.
lawyer, right? This is coming from the civil rights defense lawyer. Go ahead.
So like you're arguing and being loud and then I'm frustrated and not understanding what you're saying. So on both sides they're kind of, an attitude going on.
So we have attitudes too, is what you're saying.
Very much so.
Okay. So y'all gonna get killed. You do know that, right? Your parents like waiting. They're waiting. I'm okay. I'm okay. So I mean, I can't believe y'all said that. So you said that the parents have attitudes, and so it's a two-way street. You feel, and but you'll go ahead and concede, and then from both of you, and I've seen both of you with your. Look at that! You look, one parent already walking in the room. Now I've seen both of you all when you weren't too happy, and yeah, you all too. Both of you are kind of like too. Destiny, yeah, you kind of get. It's almost like you melt into the side of a. If it's in the car, you melt into the side of the car. You just kind of disappear almost. It's like everything just goes blank and you start disappearing somewhere. And Zion's kind of the same way. It's like just this stone look, and you kind of melt away. And I think that if we could take the opportunity to define the attitude, because I think in the moment when you all are already upset and feeling like you're not being heard, if we say you got an attitude without already having definitions kind of put in place about what we feel like attitudes are, then it only kind of pushes, I don't know, touches the wound a little bit more, because maybe you just didn't know. So tell me what you think the word attitude means, so that parents who are watching, when they say it to the kids, this may be the thought that they're having when you hear the word attitude.
In my definition, it's just like you going back and forth, sucking your teeth, rolling your eyes, stomping away, this and that. It's not like you not talking or you not engaging. That's more of like you trying to get yourself together for another conversation that your parent is about to bring up. So you can just be like, okay, I'm trying to get myself together. So what else do I have to go through now? So it's not an attitude, it's more of a woosah in my definition. So like attitude is like, going back and forth, rolling your eyes, sucking teeth, stomping off, all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think an attitude, like you're being outright disrespectful. I don't think it's just like when I disagree with you, I don't think that's me having an attitude. It's just me trying to explain my point. But if I'm like, sucking my teeth, rolling my eyes and stuff, then that's an attitude because like I'm outright trying to be, disrespectful. And so that's what I would call an attitude, not necessarily me disagreeing with you because that's just a conversation, So that's what I think.
So Heaven says she was sitting beside her mom, says that she's so glad that she didn't get on. Come on, Heaven, you ain't ever scared. You ain't ever scared. This is a great conversation. Then she said what she said right here, and I ain't that crazy.
Me either.
Oh no.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't think
I would just give it an example.
I don't think neither one of these people up on the screen ever. Have you all ever stomped away? Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I know you didn't stomp away because it would be a long reach to bring you right back. So you pretty much knew you don't do no stomping away. This is so good. I mean, I'm enjoying this. So then the confusion comes in, or the miscommunication comes in when we say attitude, but you all think attitude is the neck rolling, eye rolling, lip popping back and forth, kind of dot dot dot. That's how you see it. But when we say attitude, we see it in the sense of uh, although you didn't roll your eyes, although you didn't, roll your neck, although you didn't lip pop, but you got quiet and did the mean mug. You see, so so for us, oh, you're just smiling, all right. So the mean mug for us, I think, is when we say attitude, and the parents that are on here, they can kind of hop in and say the thing. So when I'm thinking attitude, I think, yeah. So why you mean mugging me? I mean, you ain't smiling, you're looking, and although you didn't roll your eye, you cut your eye. That's that's the difference, right? You didn't like roll them, you didn't do all that, but you got that side eye look. Now Zion is almost about to be a professional with the side eye. It gets her in trouble a whole lot. It gets her in trouble a whole lot because she'll do that little side eye thing. And see, all of that for us, for the parents translates into, oh, you got attitude. You side eyeing me. So I think now that we kind of got definitions, when we get back into as how did Bishop O say that thing? She called it instructions and having a conversation with sometimes usually unusual high volume. All right. So when we get into those instructions and conversations with unusually high volumes, then maybe we have a different perspective of the attitude part and the definition between those both. Okay. If there could be, and last question, if there could be a perfect way to have a discussion with your parents that's of unusually high volume or argument, if there's a perfect way to do that, what would it be? How would it look like?
I'd say just keeping the volume down, because once someone raises their voice, that's when it starts to become more of an like outright argument. And so just kind of staying calm and not with us controlling our facial expressions, I guess. And because sometimes you just can't help it. It's just kind of natural. So just controlling our facial expressions, and then on the other end, not raising your voice. So then it's more like a conversation instead of an argument.
Okay.
I kind of piggyback off of Destiny with the little mean mug thing, like, because my mama told me like that. My parents would kind of tell me, you have a mean mug, and I just be like, well, I didn't mean to have one. It's I just can't control it. And my mom always tells me like I get my mean mug from my dad, so it's just like.
Oh, hold on. Wait now, hold on. She said what now?
I mean, but Daddy, you kind of got a mean mug.
Oh no. So wait a minute.
Daddy.
You talk about me.
Daddy.
What?
You have a mean mug. I'm pretty sure Destiny can attest to this. Like it's not like a mean mug. Like,
don't put me in this. Don't put me in this.
It's just like it's not like a mean mug. It's like maybe like you just focused on something. So it's just like you kind of got your eyebrows scrunched up and stuff like that. So it's not like a mean mug to you. It's maybe like a focused look. But I kind of get it from you because mommy don't really mean mug like that. So anyway, off that topic, it's just like it's kind. I mean, yeah, I don't really think. I mean, just saying I want to have a conversation. I don't want like a little going back and forth or anything like that. I mean, And there's sometimes where I don't go to my dad for certain conversations. I go to my mom. And certain conversations, I don't go to my mom. I go to my dad. So it's just like I kind of know who to go to conversate, just so I won't get an argument. So it's just kind of it kind of goes hand in hand. So yeah.
So now you done offered something different. Yeah, no, right. Destiny backed out of that quick. She's like, I don't want no parts. As I am trying to clean it up. So let's go ahead and clear one thing up to all of our viewing audience. I don't have a mean mug. I don't do that. I don't know what she talking about. All of that mean mug stuff, I think she gets probably from the other parent, not the parent that's sitting here before you. So yeah, that being said, what conversations do you take to your father and then what kind of conversations do you take to your mother?
To my dad, it's more like, can I get this? Like, not necessarily with clothes, but just anything. Like, if I'm making a big purchase, I have to ask, of course. So then it's like, if I just ask him for it or say, can I buy it? Then he'll look at it. And it's not really like anything to like the conversation is not that long or anything. It's just he'll has to look at it and see if like the price is appropriate for the product, and then he'll say yes or no. And normally it's yes. But with my mom, it's more a conversation of like if I want to go out somewhere or whatever. Because if I mean, I could go to my dad with that, but then he'll just say go to your mom. So just go directly to my mom, and then it's more she asks more questions like who's going, who's picking you up, what time are you going to be back, stuff like that. So more like the in-depth conversations or whatever, then I go to my mom with.
I piggyback off of Disney. Like I go to my dad. I even go to my dad about clothes sometimes because I just want to see his perspective. Like if I try on clothes, I'd be like, Dad, how does this look? Or I'll show my dad. He'll be like, I don't too much like that. So it's just like, okay, I understand. Because my mom, it'll just be like, nah. So I don't really go to her about that a lot. So I just go to my dad. Or if I, like Disney said, if I want to like really buy something, I really like this, I'll be like, Dad, can I get this? And he'll be like, yeah, or something like that. But my mama, I kind of go to her, about if I can go somewhere or, the other gender or something like that. So it's just, so she'll kind of just, like Disney said, it'll just give me more questions like who going, just stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, you said you go to your mom about the other gender?
Yes, I do.
Oh. Interesting. What are y'all talking about when you talk to your mom about the other gender? Okay. Let's see. Haven't talked to Tony about everything but boys. Uh, she only talked to me about boys and a ride. Well, amen to that. Diane, it's called being a daddy's girl, Lord. I can relate. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to have an off-camera conversation about about you talking to your mom about the other gender. Yeah, yeah, we'll probably talk. We'll talk off camera about that.
I only talk to her because you're working on it. You're kind of working on receiving that kind of conversation. So you're working on it, and I can give you accolades. Like you are working on it, and I do kind of come to you sometimes. So yeah, I applaud you because you're working on it.
I'm just working very slow. That's all. I'm just working very, very slow.
Very slow.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. Doing it on purpose. Do it on purpose. Yeah. Destiny, do you have the boy conversation with your mom or your dad?
My mom. I don't think, but the thing is, I talked to my mom and I had to tell her, well, I can't say it. Well, I already started a sentence, but like I had to tell her not to like go to my dad about certain things because she likes to, talk. And so how to say it, go talk to my dad about things. And it's just like, for what? But then also when it comes, because I have a lot of guy friends. And so, like, growing up, I always have a lot of guy friends. And, like, I just started having more girlfriends. And so, like, for example, the other week, Isaiah, this was before the Y was open near us. And so they would go to, like, the courts. And it was just him and the boys. But, like, Isaiah and I kind of had mutual guy friends. And so I would want to go, but my dad wouldn't let me. And my mom's like, so I would go to my mom about it and she would let me. But like, if my dad says no, I can't go. So it's just kind of showing him that, like, I have more guy, and it doesn't mean that like I want to be with them. They're just my guy friends. And so that's why I just go to my mom more with stuff, because she kind of knows who's like my friend and who's not.
I don't have guy
I
friends.
can completely agree with the going back to my dad part. It's just like, you have girlfriends to talk to my problems about. You can talk to Bishop Mika about my problems. Don't go to my dad. Like, come on. But don't do that.
Exactly.
I came to you with my problem. Just talk to your girlfriends. Like, don't do that.
So it looks like we done jumped in on another topic that we need to continue on next week, and that's the conversation about this boy thing, whatever that is. You know, we got to talk about that. I'm guessing. I may not be the one hosting that particular conversation. I may let your mom. I may let your mom or somebody else kind of host that part of the conversation, because I just don't know if, I don't know if I can handle that yet. So I'll remove myself so that I don't have the mean mug that only my daughter said. Because Destiny didn't say I had a mean mug, did you? Did you say I had a mean mug, Destiny? You didn't say that, did you?
I kind of chose not to say anything at all. But
so wait a minute, are you pleading the fifth? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna plead the fifth.
All right. So that tells me right there then that you think so too. Okay.
You're working on it. You're working on it. Your calculator, because you're working on it.
I've been smiling the whole while on this.
Not in the beginning, but you kind of slowly evolved into us now. So you're working on it.
All right. Well, at any rate, so we're going to give you all your closing, your opportunity to have a closing thought. Today was good. And I think getting that roadmap to how to have the conversation and kind of what you would want to see. Now, I want you to think about, though, one of the things that you guys said. Well, I don't know what happened with that. One of the things you all said was on your end, making sure that you're controlling your face. And controlling your posture, since we've now defined what an attitude is from a parent's perspective, not just what an attitude is from a young people's perspective, but it also gave parents an idea of, when we say attitude, what you guys are thinking. And so then we may not need to use that blanket word attitude, and may say something along the lines of, so why are you sitting there so stone-faced or quiet? I mean, literally saying the thing that's happening, instead of using the blanket attitude, since attitude in you all's mind registered lip popping and that kind of thing. So I think that kind of helped, at least it did help me, some parents out there, and as well as those who are in high school, as to how to approach your parent. Last week we talked about it. We didn't get to that this week again, about how to literally approach a parent if you really want something to happen, if you really like certain things. Maybe we'll grab some of that next week as we keep moving along on a couple of our topics. If you're watching us, if you have certain topics that you'd like for us to talk about and discuss, inbox me or them, and we'll talk about the topic. We'll do our best to work our way through it. These are bright young ladies. Heaven is a part of us. When she can't be on the physical, she's always commenting there. And DJ, when he's not working, he'll be on there. So you'll have different perspectives from all 3 to 4 of them. So if there's a topic that you think, hey, I'd like to know about ... and their perspective on it, inbox us. and we'll tackle it and we'll grab it. Rebecca Span says that we did a good job. You all did a good job. Yeah, that's right. Now, is this Heaven saying that that's my serious face, or is that Chatter saying it's my serious face? I don't know which one it is. So yeah, awesome job. So take your minute and or 35 seconds to a minute and have closing thoughts. What we talked about today, what we've talked about in prior shows, or just something that's kind of on your heart that you'd like to share at this moment. Now, who went first last week? Destiny, you went first? Or Zion? Oh, Zion went first. All right, so Des, you're first up.
So to a high schooler, I'd say to have these sort of conversations with your parents about how kind of outlining what you think an attitude is, and I guess they can share their point of view to a common agreement. So then when you do have those conversations about other things, like if you're asking to go somewhere, then it doesn't kind of evolve into an argument. And then also just learning to better yourself, like with your facial expressions. And that can also translate to like in school with teachers, because you may not like yell at your teacher, but I know me personally, I've had to deal with like teachers that have questionable ideologies, and it's just kind of like controlling my facial expressions so that way it's not an argument because they're your teacher with them. Same with your parents. And so that can kind of translate in and out of school with controlling your attitude and being respectful to those people that are above you. So that's the advice I have for a high schooler.
Thank you, ma'am. Zion, you're up.
The advice I would like to tell you guys is don't be so afraid to tell your parents, what's going on like with you and what's going on in your life, because like just don't be so afraid of their, if they're yelling or if they're, talking, like not necessarily talking down on you, but don't get so, shut down. Don't shut down because, they're yelling or anything. They're just trying to, process what you're bringing to them and trying to figure out ways to protect you while you're going through that. So it's just like, don't be so afraid of what they're going to say. Just go ahead and get it out, because it's better to get it out and hold it in. So always tell your parents what's going on. Just don't be so afraid of what's going to happen. Just go ahead and tell it. So just always have that open line of communication with your parents, because it'll definitely be, it's good to have an open line of communication with your parents.
All right. So, and I concur and agree with these lovely young ladies. Heaven, if you have a thought that you're able to type into that comment, you can go ahead and type it in right now. If you do what these young ladies stated, I think the relationship between the parent and the child and the parent, can flourish and grow into greater things. I'm always open to hear your point of view, understanding though that just because I'm hearing it doesn't mean that I'm always going to go along with it. But I want you to feel, and my daughter knows this, and my son, I want you to feel heard. And then there are times when your conversation or your appeal is so compelling that I'll say, okay, all right, well, go with that, and we'll see how it goes. But it's best to make sure that you're having and practicing that level of communication. There are even times when I'll say, okay, all right, here's your chance to tell me whatever you need to tell me. Say all you need to say without penalty. Just say it, and we'll have those moments. And so maybe that's a good strategy for some of the parents. Give them that chance to say all you need to say. Now, I'll close with this thought, though. One of the other things I always tell my kids is this: you have the full ability to choose any action that you like. It's totally up to you. The only thing you can't choose is the consequence. So choose to do whatever, but you can't choose the consequence. I choose the consequence. So keep that in mind before you choose an action, knowing that the consequence solely belongs to me. All right. So I didn't see Heaven put anything in there. So next week, guys, we'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel. for the high school shelter in place of spirituality. These bright, brilliant young ladies and the rest of them who will join us, then they will be back with us. We'll continue down this road of parents just don't understand and try to walk through the clothing piece, the argument piece, and maybe even the let me have a boyfriend or girlfriend piece, wherever that comes from. Let's see, Heaven. Listen to your parents. This is from Heaven, one of our panelists. Listen to your parents because they have already been through some of the things we're going through. Don't be afraid to talk to your parents, and will you in public make sure you keep in respect for yourself, because that goes back on your parents as well. That's exactly right. Speak, Heaven. It goes back on us. Yeah, and awesome advice from First Lady. So join us next week. Again, inbox us, myself or either one of these two. Both of them are on Facebook. Any topics that you would like to be discussed, and we'll pull on some of the topics that are most concerning to us, and then maybe we'll even start talking about how school is going to look next year, and how you kind of feel about possibly being virtual for another year, because that is a possibility. So we kind of talked through some of that, how sports are going to look, because both of you are athletes. And so, your thoughts with that, and, your feeling as it relates to the shelter in place and COVID piece. So we'll kind of get into some of those things so that you guys can have an opportunity to just express yourself. Until then, this is R. Christopher Brown III, the Relevant Leadership Strategist, Senior Pastor of the Sword of Truth, presiding prelate of Kingdom Fellowship Ministries, President and CEO of R.C. Brown Enterprises. And I am telling you that 2020 is still going to be a big year for you. On behalf of Zion and Destiny and Heaven and DJ, signing off, we're saying that we love you, we're praying for you, and we'll see you next week. God bless.